Ousmane Dembele.
Yes.
This is undoubtedly the season that he got it all together. Uh, I know you do a lot of reading and watching on the YouTubes and whatnot. Besides the new coach and the new environment, what else changed for him?
He decided to commit to Islam. He got married, and he got a haircut, and he just became a man. You know, became a pillar of society. Became somebody that you can actually look and depend on. And he just grew up. At some point, a man has to become a man, and he finally became a man. He put his childish ways away and just became an adult. Go ahead, coach.
The answer is very simple. He stopped playing Fortnite.
Fix his diet. Yeah, that stuff's important. But Tosin, if cutting his hair made him a man, how come you haven't converted to Islam yet?
It's coming.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show. This is the Champions League preview edition, and this is your host, Deen, taking Tosin's place because he can't kick my ass. And I'm here with Tosin. How are you, bro?
I'm good. I don't fight, so you're right. I can't kick your ass.
Mad pussy, man. It's niggas like you that made Trump get into power, couldn't fight. Anyway, Coach, you seem like a fighting man. How are you?
Yeah, man, I'll fight everyone here. I can't even lie.
He said he's Riley Cooper. I'll fight every nigger in this concert. In any event, we're here to do less racial abuse and talk more football. The Champions League final is on Saturday, is it, guys? Or is it Sunday? I don't know. Saturday. Okay, my team ain't in it. We were close, didn't make it, so I don't care. Guys, before we dig into it, any general comments about this game?
Yeah, Inter were the first team to win the Champions League after it switched from a midweek fixture to a Saturday fixture in 2010. The last midweek fixture was United getting their ass kicked by Barcelona in 2009.
Now,
and I'll be honest with you. Let me be frank here. I actually think I know why they moved to the Saturday. It's just money, purely money, no other reason. More eyes, you know what I'm saying. But a midweek Champions League final to me is just heritage. It's not nostalgia. It just feels right. Do you know what I mean? It really does.
Honestly, I forgot that was the pin until you mentioned it.
Wow. Oh wow. Damn.
I forgot because I'm thinking about being in college and watching that 3-3 game between Liverpool and Milan, and I was like, "Oh shit, I had to miss class for that."
Yeah.
But I haven't had to miss anything for a Champions League final in what feels like, I guess, 15 years now.
It's literally 15 years. Yeah.
That's
So yeah, they would yeah. I mean, I think it was at the Bernabeu as well. Yeah.
that's crazy.
That game was at the Bernabeu?
Yep.
Fascinating.
The year after, 2011, was Wembley.
Hey,
2000
cut that shit off.
Yeah, I know. You go ask it again. And then the year after that, I want to say was Allianz.
Okay,
Then
Rain Man. All right.
Then it was Wembley again.
We're so impressed. We don't care. You do not care. You do not care. All right, let's do a little bit of the history of both of these teams in this tournament. We're going to keep it real brief because you guys got the same Wikipedia we got. So let's start with PSG. They made a semifinal in 94-95. Any of you remember that?
No, I was pushing.
Stop giving people your intimate information on the internet, bro. Please don't tell people.
Wait, 94, 95, they made it to the semis.
They made it to the semis. I didn't know that.
George then?
I don't
Wait,
know.
wasn't that the same year we won the Cup Winners' Cup and we beat them in the semi?
I have no idea, fellas.
I feel like it was.
But this is information directly from the UEFA Champions League website. So
Okay, fair.
It has to be true. You know.
Yeah.
So they made that semi.
Who beat them? Who beat them in the semi then?
I did not check. Not check. But if one of you wants to do that while I keep talking, you're more than welcome.
That's fine, yeah.
That said, they didn't have a whole lot to offer the competition until the QSI, Qatar Sports Investment takeover in the 2010s. At that point, they became perennial quarterfinalists, but towards the end of the decades, basically starting in 2017 up until 2019, they kept getting eliminated at the round of 16 stage, which is crazy because if you think of the players they had at the time, we're talking like Cavani, Verratti, Ibrahimovic. Marquinhos has been there forever. I don't know if he's been there that long, but it feels like he's been there since the very beginning of Qatar. But that was basically their history until 2020, the COVID year, we were led by Neymar. Thomas Tuchel took them to the final, and they lost to Hansi Flick's Bayern. Who are you rooting for in that final, Tosin?
2020?
Yeah, when they
I
played
really,
Bayern.
really wanted PSG to win. I just felt like it was their time, and I think it would have been nice for Neymar to get a title, but things didn't work out the way it worked out.
It did not work out. Who scored the goal in that final again? It was 1-0.
Kingsley Coleman.
Kingsley Coleman.
Yeah. I mean, Neymar already has a title, but it would have been nice for him to leave, write his own legacy at PSG, and then
yeah. The trouble with Messi and Suarez and MSN. Yeah.
By the way, 94, it was against Milan. They lost 1-0 in the first leg and 2-0 in the second leg. So then Ajax won that year. It was the Ajax.
They kicked their ass, man.
nice.
They
Very
absolutely kicked their ass.
Thanks, Tosin. Appreciate that. Let's talk a little Inter history. They've won the competition before, so we don't need to talk about all their stuff leading up to it. They had their first win in 1963. Coach, how was that game live?
I don't know. All I know is that I remember that they beat Celtic, if I remember correctly.
I think so. I think you know that. That was the Helenio Herrera era
Yeah.
when they were playing, when they popularized Catenaccio as a tactical approach to the game. And they also won it the next year in 64, 65. So Real Madrid, well, I guess Real Madrid did that before them as well in the 50s, but they did this in the 60s. They also won the treble in 2010, guys. We all remember that. Mourinho's treble, Wesley Sneijder as the linchpin of that team. Coach, why did Wesley Sneijder not win the Ballon d'Or that year? And are you over that yet?
Because he's fat.
That will suffice. All right, let's talk about their journeys this season real quick. Go on, Tosin.
Jose Mourinho recently said that he was rooting for Inter not to win the Scudetto because he was like, the treble's mine, because nobody else can have a treble Inter but me.
That's exactly the type of person he is, guys. This is why if you invite him into your club, just know you're inviting in a parasitic shark, right? He's all about him. He doesn't care about the fortunes of the clubs that he's involved in. It's all about, if the club does well, it means that I've done well. It's not the other way around.
Right.
basically.
And he left Inter and did all that crime with Marco Materazzi by a bus. But he had forced him to invest so much in old ass people like Samuel Eto'o and Walter Samuel and Marco Materazzi that when Inter tried to rebuild, they essentially missed the Champions League for like the next 4 or 5 seasons. So they didn't really get back into it into the middle part of the last decade because of what they invested in Mourinho's treble, But so it goes when you hire the devil. This season, Inter finished 4th in the new group stage. Then in the round of 16, they beat Feyenoord 4-1 on aggregate. They beat Bayern 4-3 on aggregate in the next round. And in maybe the greatest semifinal we've ever seen, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, a month ago at this point, they beat Barcelona 7-6 in a tie that either team could have won. But I think we all agreed that, and Tosin, correct me if I'm wrong here, I think we agreed that Inter probably deserved it on the balance of things.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. PSG finished 15th in the group stage, and they had to play Liverpool in the quarters. That ended 1-1, then 4-1 on
round
penalties.
of 16.
Round of 16, I'm sorry. I gave Liverpool too much credit. Thanks for catching me there, coach. Then they beat Aston Villa 5-4 on aggregate. Then they finished their journey through England by defeating Arsenal 3-1 on aggregate, which I believe was so unfair, and I demand a recount. Tosin, in all the games that both of these teams played leading up to this final, who had the most impressive performance? The performance that made you think to yourself, you know what, they might go ahead and win this thing.
PSG. I mean, they ran the English gauntlet, literally ran through England, and it's just like, they obviously started off shaky this season in the beginning, club-wise, just were shaky. But overall, they started to pick up steam, and you start to realize, oh, they're doing this without a striker. They're doing this like just they're out. They do, and they don't have a striker. I know.
They do have a striker. They just choose not to use the striker.
They have a striker that they don't use. They have another £90 million striker that they sent to Juventus. So, this pauper sort of, underdog story that people trying to run with PSG, guys, let's cut this shit out.
Ain't nobody saying they're the underdog, man.
No, I know. Obviously not you in particular, but I feel like everyone at some point has been guilty of it, even myself to a certain degree. Like, come on, like, let's not take the piss, man. They've invested arguably the most amount, like, up there. Like, I'd probably say top 3 amount of money, into this project. So, yeah, it's about time. Like, It's about
For
time.
sure, for sure. But I'm just saying, like, it was impressive they ran through the English gauntlet. That's what I'm saying. It's like they ran through every, like, the tough English teams. Aston Villa, Liverpool, Arsenal is tough, and they did it. So
The fact you didn't mention Man City as well makes me laugh so much, honestly. So,
who?
Wait, was that a group stage game?
no, that was the playoff game.
Oh shit. Pep has had a rough year. Rough season, man. Rough season. Um, goodness gracious, guys. I kind of
I
got
just realized they
I got
only played English teams up until the final.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah, that feels rude. I feel
yeah.
I feel somewhat disrespected as an American.
Somebody next year is gonna have the exact same thing with English teams again because there's 6 of them things next year. Someone's definitely having that next year. So
But they're not beating everybody. I'll tell you
yeah,
that fucking much. I'll tell you
yeah.
that right now. Coach, Inter, like Tosin gave us the PSG, sort of look into the future as in, okay, I was impressed by the fact they beat all these English teams. So he didn't really answer my question per se. When did you think Inter was going to win this competition?
I think the Barcelona fixture. I know it's just a bit cliche, whatever else, but up until that, Inter looks competent enough for them to progress up until the semis. But because of the way Barca had basically faced pretty much not in the Champions League because I think their run to the semi-final was pretty easy, but across the season in the league at least they'd faced pretty much every sort of setup you can hope to find, and that high line didn't budge. You know what I mean? They still found a way to to win the league, and then they came up against Inter, and I was like, yeah, this is a movable object versus the unstoppable force for sure. Despite Inter being weird in the last month, I suppose, leading up to that semi-final. Um, and the fact that they went 2-0 up at the new camp, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that was for me. That was for me. Those first 2 goals, I was like, yeah, there's something here. There's definitely. I didn't count them out. Even when Barca were like, I think 4 minutes away from the final, I was like, nah, nah. It's still there. And I think I remember even tweeting when they went 2-0 up as well, saying the tie is over, if you remember correctly. And it wasn't over, clearly, but it was not over. But I was thinking, yeah, they can definitely do something here.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Tosin, who which of the PSG players do you think, if you're removed from their starting lineup for the game on Saturday, would essentially just end their chances? Is there one player?
There
Cut.
is. Is one of the midfielders actually.
Which one?
Yao Neves.
Hmm.
Actually,
Coach,
like,
Coach, what's your take on that?
Uh, I mean, I see it because he's definitely the more industrious one, despite all of the technical talent. But yeah, I think I would have said Vitinho just purely for the fact that they don't have a replacement for him there. They just don't. They can kind of, I suppose, get by without Neves, in my opinion. But without Vitinho, it's like the rhythm of the team goes. They'll find a way to obviously mitigate because they've still got a lot of quality players, but he is the one unique player there that does it all in all 3 phases pretty much for them. I'm not sure everybody else excels the way he does.
Fair enough. Back to Tosin. What happened to Warren Zaire Emery? Like last season, it looked like he was about to be a fixture. I mean, he's young, we know that, and development isn't linear. But what exactly happened? Have you been paying attention to that?
he's young. He's had injury issues too. That's also another thing too this season. Like, he's been hurt a lot. So, he's been coming back in, and obviously Enrique still rates him. He's a very good player. He's also 18 years old. So when you're 18 and you got Agbalagba in front of you, and you got Vitinha, you got Neves, and you also got who's the other guy they played? The Spanish guy.
Fabian Ruiz.
Yeah, they got him. Yeah. So it's just like, you know, they
That's
kind of
fair.
they kind of solidified themselves, and you're not gonna knock the rhythm off the team. You're still good, talented players. You go off the bench, but he'll get his turn. He'll get his turn.
Yeah,
He's a Parisian too.
fair
So
enough. Which begs the question: while coaches are hydrating, we can't ignore the elephants in Madrid because this is not the room. What is your take? And both of you can answer this in order. Start with Tosin. What's your take on Mbappe leaving, and all of a sudden QSI committing to a more collective approach to the game thanks to Luis Enrique? than him going to Real Madrid and them kind of falling off in the competition. Like, what's your overall take on that? Like, what do we take away from that? Are we shitting on Mbappe, or is it just one of them things?
It's one of them things. This guy literally got La Liga Golden Boot this year. So what are we doing? Like, it's unfortunate that, they leave and they get to a final and they're, arguably favorites to win it. But it just is what it is. Sometimes you just need to break up and both parties thrive. It happens. It's life. It is what it is.
Coach, Tosin correctly noted that Mbappe has kind of, well, not kind of, he's objectively dominated La Liga. He's the leading scorer in that league. I think when you do the conversions, he might actually have the European Golden Boot, because when you play in a place like Portugal, they like divide your goals by like 3 or some shit.
They need to divide it by 20, but
Okay, I hope Andrea Berta is listening to this episode. That said, what do you make of the idea that they're better off without him? Are they better off without him? Is that an objective fact for you?
just timing. It's just timing more than anything. Like the timing of the Real Madrid transition, the timing of the PSG project as well. Like that's what I mean. Put it like this: Arsenal went how many years with, to my mind, like the best box-to-box midfielder in the world, but comfortably with Vieira. They're one of the best attacks around, point blank period, and we couldn't get past a quarterfinal stage in the Champions League. Then the year Vieira leaves, the year after, we get to a final of a Champions League. Does it mean Vieira was holding us back? Absolutely not. It's just the timing.
It's just that Cesc Fabregas is a better player than Patrick.
You can actually go to fucking hell. Like, absolutely just goes to hell.
That's crazy, man, because for a man that is so insistent on the importance of goal scorers and difference makers in the game, I feel like if you leave all the beef, like, sorry, folks, we're going to go on an Arsenal detour because we're Arsenal fans. Sorry, Tosin. If you leave all the beef aside, a player that actually creates and scores goals surely is more impactful to a team and should cost more in the transfer market than the best box-to-box midfielder of his era.
Yeah, so I don't agree because of just how much goals Arsenal scored because of his his style of play. Like the amount of recycling he did, not just from the ball winning, but from his passing as well. Like getting the ball to Henry like in one pass rather than 2 or 3, because he can just carry it, 20, 30 yards and slay it off to him. I'm sorry, like no, like I'm not having it. Yeah, Fabregas can find a killer pass from his own 6-yard box. That's nice.
Like, listen, I've achieved my goal here. I got you to say his actual government name without calling him a snake or talking some shit, so I won.
No, he's still a bitch, but
Man, leave Mr. Como alone, man. Tosin, let's talk a little Inter. Same question as the last time. Who was the player? Actually, it's not even a fair question because we know this coach, Simone Inzaghi, rotates like a motherfucker, and they still seem to succeed regardless of that. So I'll ask you a different question. Do you think them losing out on the Serie A title based on the last day of the season is more of a motivator for them to close the deal? When you think about the fact that they also lost the Champions League final to City a couple years ago. Is that more of a motivator in your eyes, or is it more of a, this is a bad sign, I think they're probably going to lose to PSG to you?
I would say the answer to that is yes. I would say more so of a bad sign because, like, there's so much just noise around them. Like, Inzaghi apparently is leaving, and then they lost the titles. There's like all this noise. Apparently, it's going to Al Hilal.
yeah, Saudi.
That's haram. Nah, I can't have that. Nah, he's not ready to go yet. He's too young. Like, what are we doing here? But carry on, my friend.
Yeah, so apparently he's going to be coaching Bruno Fernandes and Victor Osimhen in Al Hilal, apparently. Yeah.
Them niggas tripping, man. They need to leave us alone and let us watch our EA FIFA sports game. Jejeli. Oh, man.
But yeah, I don't know. It's such an interesting time to be an Inter fan because it can go either way, right? Like, they can fully be ready to go, but also they could be very distracted. So I don't know, like, these players are mentally tough, right? So I just kind of feel they're ready to show off in the final. I think they're ready, like they're hungry, and we're gonna see some boots, that change in the weather. So maybe Lautaro can get his shooting boots on this weekend. We'll see.
Oh, man. Speaking of Lautaro, coach, have you changed your opinion on him? Because we were all very harsh on him at the last World Cup, only to learn afterwards that he had a bad ankle that he was managing through the tournament. And he's had some good seasons for Inter since he finished 6th or 7th in the last Ballon d'Or. Where are you on him, and how much did you respect the fact that he played on essentially a torn hamstring in that second leg of the semifinal?
I respect him. I respect him as a farm animal, but not as a man. Um, he won't ever trick me, unfortunately. He just won't ever
Oh
trick
my
me.
god!
I mean, you call him El Toro, so he's clearly a cow. So, um, uh, if I can be serious for a second though, I definitely think I was harsh on him. Not harsh on him because I misprofiled or misjudged him. I was harsh on him because I didn't really I didn't really rate how much heart he had. But I think the guy is as technical as he can be. I think he's way more heart than he is his technique, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not. It's not a diss. You need that in the game, but Inter don't get where they are without this guy essentially dying on the line every match day. I think, and that is commendable as the captain as well. There's all different. There's many different types of captains, but I feel like for certain clubs, you you can only ever have one sort of captain. Do you know what I mean? And I definitely feel like, if you look at even Inter when they had Zanetti was obviously a fantastic player, technical marvel, multi-positional, multifunctional kind of thing. But the guy was a passion merchant. Let's call it what it was. He was just a passion
Undoubtedly, undoubtedly.
so, so, and that's what Lautaro is. Lautaro is just a passion merchant that loves this club to death. Who will literally die for this club. I mean, he's literally ignoring his mum's calls. Don't ever ignore your mum's calls, guys. Ever.
Ever don't do
Don't
that.
ever. This
Don't-
guy was ignoring his mum's calls for the Nerazzurri guys. Like the guy's ready to die for it. So my opinion on him has changed in that regard. I just still don't. It's gonna sound like I rate athleticism over technique, which I don't. I just rate it very much more higher than a lot of people do. But I just feel like his athleticism it's annoying to watch.
Coach,
I need you to be stronger and faster for me. I just need that. I want
I have a question for Coach though about Lautaro since we're here. What do you think about his haircut?
It's fucking shit, bro. It's rubbish. In fact, that's why I can't fully accept him. It's the haircut. It's actually the haircut. That's what it is. It's like that's what your 7-year-old child is. Can I have that one? Kind of thing. And then now you got to walk around for like 2 weeks with your child looking like a flipping Nazi. Like,
I think, well, if there's someone that's going to inspire our children, it should be a Nazi from Argentina, not a Nazi from Germany. Let's be serious here. We want athletes to inspire our kids. So fair enough, fair enough. And listen, man, he spikes that shit up. It looks like a horn to me. El Toro. There you go. Boom. Tough acting for acting. Yeah. Uh, Tosin, Usman Dembele.
Yes.
This is undoubtedly the season that he got it all together. I know you do a lot of reading and watching on the YouTubes and whatnot. Besides the new coach and the new environment, what else changed for him?
He decided to commit to Islam. He got married, and he got a haircut, and he just became a man. You know, became a pillar of society. Became somebody that you can actually look and depend on. And he just grew up. At some point, a man has become a man, and he finally became a man. He put his childish ways away and just became an adult. Go ahead, Coach.
the answer is very simple. He stopped playing Fortnite.
Fix his diet. Yeah. Yeah, that stuff's important. But Tosin, if cutting his hair made him a man, how come you haven't converted to Islam yet?
It's coming.
Inshallah. Inshallah. My son is reverting soon. Amen. 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 All right, guys. We've done enough. You know what? Let's do a little more dancing. Let's do a combined XI. Like, why not? Who has a better goalkeeper, Coach?
Donnarumma. Like, don't get me wrong. Someone had a blinder in the semis, but I still think he's rubbish. And Donnarumma is the bane of every English football fan. Like, he really is. So yeah.
Bukayo Saka gotta shoot that nigga, man.
Question though, what formation are we playing if we're doing this?
Right. I was just about to get into that when we got into the outfield. I'm gonna say we'll go with 3 defenders between the 2 teams. So we're just gonna pick the 3 best defenders. So Tosin, you pick our backline.
It's gonna be Bastoni, and everybody else decides to follow Bastoni.
All right. Who else with him?
I would have to say Marquinhos, but he's like 5'5".
Nah, come on, man. He's 6
But
foot.
Marquinhos is there.
Okay.
And then who else is on there? I don't really like PSG's other defenders. I don't.
I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna say Pacho. Don't get me wrong. Like the Asherby can't be there because he's just gonna racially abuse all the francophone players, so he can't be there. So yeah, let's just go Pacho, Bastoni, and Marquinhos. I think that's fair.
Okay. Now let's do 4 in the midfield then. So we're gonna go, I guess, technically wing backs. Who is our left wing back? Nuno Mendes or DiMarco?
I'm gonna go DeMarco because I think he's more creative. But I
Feels
think
racist, bro.
no, that seriously, I think he's more creative. Even though I think um Menges is a better defender and
Better athlete too.
a better athlete as well. But if it's a 3-4-3, then yeah, you're gonna need yeah. I wouldn't want to break up that left hand side of Bastoni and DeMarco. That's it's incredible. So yeah.
All right, so Tosin, our choice on the right is Hakimi versus Denzel Dumfries. Who you got?
Bring me mama's boy.
Oh, oh, that's tough. That is the toughest decision in this entire 11. Seriously.
But I believe in African supremacy, so I'm going with the North African.
Okay, that's fair.
Hakimi?
Yeah.
Nah, fine, whatever. I think he had. Oh man,
It's tough.
It's tough.
It's really fucking tough.
It's tough.
yeah. I think we got to revisit this. Who's in our central midfield then?
I think you got to give it to the two.
PSG.
Oh, actually, no. It's Barella plus anyone from PSG, but let's say Barella Vitinha. Let's just go Barella Vitinha.
I like that.
Oh, y'all Nets?
I like Yalnez, but coach convinced me about Vitinha. So, we're gonna go Vitinha and Barella. But
Yeah, Vitinha Barella is mental.
Bruh, well, I was gonna say these motherfuckers. No, they can't stop a single long ball, fellas. That's too little.
Yeah.
It's too little. But
Yeah.
for the purposes of this exercise, we'll let it ride. But I'm just saying, Mikel Arteta would not put that team out. I'll tell you that much. Okay, this is hard, man. I didn't think it'd be this difficult when I started this. Right winger. Who we got?
Okay, so let me be clear here, and this is no disrespect to the Inter forwards, but it's an all PSG front line for me personally.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Tosin, where are you on that?
I'm gonna say Kavicha and Usman, and then I have Lautaro because I need a passion merchant.
Yeah, I kind of like that a little better because essentially what I'm getting from coach's selection is that, or all his selections basically, is that he thinks PSG is going to win this.
That's the thing. I actually think Inter are gonna win it. I really do. I really do. But
Why do you have that hoodie on, you son of a bitch?
because I was threatened ahead of recording. But generally I can't call it. But if I had to pick hand on heart, I would say Inter. But and I do want them to win it for more agenda reasons, to be honest. But I'll be honest with you. Yeah, PSG. This is the best chance they'll have in forever. I think they kind of have to win on Saturday. If they don't, this project it's another failure.
It just started though. I don't think it's that crucial for them.
How can you say a project just started when they've been buying Cavani and Zlatan for the last decade?
No, but it's based on. I think the project started over when Luis Enrique took the job and got rid of the big stars. Then they brought in this new set of Paris young French motherfuckers, all that type of shit. On the other hand, Inter, there's a lot of 30-year-olds on that team. Old Chananoglu, even Lautaro is not that young anymore. Bastoni is one of the younger people. He's probably like 25 already, 25, 26. So for them, I feel like it's kind of like the last opportunity. I don't see them being this good next season, but I could be wrong. That said, let's call out the combined XI real quick before we move on to our final predictions, even though we know coaches already. Donnarumma in goal, Pacho, Marquinhos, and Bastoni in defense. Then we have Hakimi, I believe. Are we still okay with that? That doesn't feel racist to y'all? I know he African, but he.
Honestly, yeah.
All right. We'll just rock with it because we're not saving any lives if we choose the other one. So we're going Hakimi and DiMarco. Man, we went way too light skin on the wingbacks. That don't make no sense, guys. We tripping with that, but we go with it. Then in midfield, we went with Barella and Vitinha. which is kind of sexy when you think about it. And for our forwards, I like Tosin's forward line better. So we're going to rock with Lautaro, Dembele, and Kevicha. You know, that's a formidable team. That would win the Champions League next year, I think. Actually, no, it would not because of them short niggas y'all picked in the middle. But that's on y'all. I didn't. That got nothing to do with me. So Tosin, we've heard coach say that he thinks Inter will win, but his selections in the combined XI suggest that he actually rates PSG better, or he likes their players more. Put it that way. So, can you give us a score along with your prediction, Tosin?
I got PSG winning 2-1.
Damn, I fucking hate your guts, nigga.
And listen, I'm somebody who generally loves Inter. You know that. Like I talk about Serie A. Like I love Serie A. Like that's my favorite league outside the Premier League.
I know that. I don't know
Yeah.
about the Inter love, nigga. Chill with all that. I love Inter.
I know you love Inter, but I'm saying like I actually love this Inter, like what they've done post Conte. I think what's happening with PSG right now, they're riding a wave of momentum where everyone this year has kind of broken the trophy duck in a sense, right? Tottenham's won one. Um, everyone's kind of moved up. Newcastle's won I know you don't want to hear that, coach, but Newcastle's won the title. Like people are now starting to like break their ducks. We got a team, Union Saint Joa, like we're a team in Germany. In Belgium that just won their first league title in 90 some years, right? So I feel like it's just this season is about every team kind of breaking their duck. And I think that finally PSG are gonna break their Champions League duck. But if they don't, boy, I'm gonna laugh at you. That's all I'm gonna say because I've seen my team win, so I'm just gonna laugh at you. But I do think they're riding that wave of just like they're gonna win a treble this year, and it's gonna finally like all make sense, and all of that.
My prediction from a couple weeks ago stays intact. I don't think anybody in Europe has been so much better than the remaining elite teams that they're good enough to win a treble. I just think Inter lost the league because they're going to win the Champions League. PSG already have a domestic treble, and I know we don't rate anything they do domestically, and fair enough. But that's a successful season. I'm not going to call them failures because they won a treble and got to the Champions League final. It'd be like calling Xabi Alonso's Invincibles failures because they lost the Europa League final to Atalanta because Ademola Lookman decided he didn't like Spanish food or some shit. So yeah, coach, you had something for us.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go Inter. I'm gonna go Inter. I think Inter can score at least two, so I'm gonna go 3-1 Inter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be horribly wrong, by the way, but that's just the way I've been today.
Don't worry, bro. I think you're right, so that means you're right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and just on PSG, this is no hate.
Yes,
I clearly admire them for the on the pitch stuff, but I just can't get away from the fact that the circumstances of which they found their success, nobody should like them, to be honest. If we're being frank, if objectively speaking, nobody should. I'm not saying that as a PSG fan, you need to feel ashamed because you shouldn't. Like one of my very best friends is a huge PSG fan, and he's fully aware in it. But I just feel like
same.
you have to you have to just you got to take the rough with the smooth in it, basically. So your club's doing well, your club's successful, but there's a clear monopoly here, and we just have to acknowledge it. The same way I've been onto Chelsea for what feels like most of my life now, and I'm onto Man City now. Like PSG are no different, unfortunately. So
yeah, man, you and Florentino Perez, bro, y'all like this. Y'all buddies. The Florentino of the pod. We appreciate
me and Florentino listen to Brazilian music from time to time. So yeah.
Oh man, but if we start talking about Tana Trump, you're gonna vex. Like I don't understand you, bro. I don't understand you at all, my brother. I really don't. I had one more question for you, Tosin, before we get out of here. Who do you think is the better manager?
Ooh, that's tough.
Simone Inzaghi or Luis Enrique?
Ooh, that's so fucking tough.
I know.
That is difficult. I'm just gonna say Enrique because I'm a 4-3-3 merchant. And I'm gonna say he did it on the international stage too. That just gives a slight edge that he did it club and country as well. So
Well, what did he do for country? Didn't he fail with Spain?
sort of, kind of, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That didn't go well, if I recall correctly. But
Yeah.
I think he's the right pick, Coach.
I'm gonna go Simone Inzaghi, and I'm gonna do it because in terms of his actual tactical flexibility, he might be the best around. I think.
That's fair.
And it's also the fact that part of your job as a manager people like kind of overlook it because all they think about is, tactics and, in-game genius, stuff like that. But part of your job as a manager is to not just to motivate, but to remotivate and to get the best out of players where, some people might think, oh, he's a spent force. Like, he's done a lot. Like, Mkhitaryan is there. Chanahoglu is there. Acherbi is there.
Sommer.
Sommer is there. Marcus Thuram is 27 years old and I still don't rate, but look, he's there. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is, there's a lot. There's a lot of examples there, that I could, I've forgotten some, to be honest. So yeah, like he's done it on a far more modest budget than his counterpart. So I'm gonna go for him, I think.
That's fair. That's fair. Let's exit on this question that I wanted to ask that I'm currently forgetting because my brain is mush. Nah, I don't have it. It disappeared. I'm sorry, guys. I think that's been fun, though. I mean, we have decided that we don't know who the winner is going to be. Okay, here's my question. It came back. One word answer, guys. Is this the most evenly matched Champions League final you can remember? Tosin,
Yes.
coach.
Yes.
And on that note, we are out. Thanks for hanging with us as always. This has been the Shirtless Champagne. Damn, what am I talking? The Shirtless Plantain Show. We don't drink alcohol over here. Well, Tosin does because he be hanging out with Eric Adams, scumbag. But this nigga doing handworks. Disgusting. In any event, thanks for hanging with us as always. I've been Deen. For Coach and Tosin, we are out. You know what to tell the people?
Peace.
Peace.
Hey folks, this is Deen from the Shirtless Plantain Show. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our socials. You can see them right beneath our recordings in every video. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.